This is the largest U.S. embassy in the world, heavily fortified and guarded. The Baghdad building is about to have fewer workers. The State Department is being vague on numbers, but says some staff are being moved to other posts in and outside of Iraq, while more security staff will be flown in. The aircraft carrier, the USS George H.W. Bush, is now on standby in the Gulf, waiting for the president to decide if the U.S. should launch airstrikes to help shore up the Iraqi government. He had said that would only happen if Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki took steps toward political reconciliation, but so far, no signs that is going to happen. Some U.S. politicians believe President Obama should force him to.
They're not going to do it on their own. They need us to lead them, and we're not leading right now as a nation.
The overwhelming message to the nation from other politicians: Americans should be afraid of what's happening in Iraq.
And I guarantee you this is a problem that we will have to face. And we're either going to face it in New York City or we're going to face it here.
The seeds of 9/11s are being planted all over Iraq and Syria.
Senator Lindsey Graham went on to create some controversy, calling for the U.S. to work with Iran to stop the violence.
Why did we deal with Stalin? Because he was not as bad as Hitler in our eyes.
The senator puts most of the blame for the violence on Iraq's prime minister, but former Marine Ross Caputi, who once fought to retake Fallujah, thinks the real blame lies much closer to home.
I think it was just inevitable that this sort of unrest would break out on this level, because the structural injustices that we put in place through the occupation have never been resolved. And until Iraqis get some amount of justice and have some voice in their own country, I think this violence is inevitable.
The question for the U.S. now: can it realistically hope to make any changes in Iraq in the midst of this, when it hasn't been able to in all the years that led up to it? Patty Culhane, Al Jazeera, Washington.